Boom! Punch! Punch! Yes! Yes!
Hey guys, my name is the Russian Badger, and I know the first thing that you're thinking is, why is this commentary 19 minutes long? And I know you can't deal, some of you can't deal with 19 minutes, but I'm going to do my very, very best to communicate to you as to why. There's like a long story and a short story, and the long story basically goes, give me your sandwich! Well, that's not how the long story goes. The long story is actually about my horrible hip fire. No. What I'm trying to communicate is that if I did not show you this entire gameplay, you guys would definitely call shenanigans on it. You would say, you know what, that's, no, you were doing some kind of catfish tactic, I don't know what you're doing, but you didn't show us the entire gameplay, so we don't believe you. And I'm just going to leave it at that, and I'm just going to leave it with one final point that if you'll realize by the end of the video, if I didn't show you the entire thing, you probably would not have liked the video, and you probably would have thought it's set up. Well, not set up, I don't want to say that. I think you guys would still believe me, but I think this video is being properly enjoyed or correctly enjoyed in its full format, in me showing you the entire thing. And I'm going to get these two chatty Cathy's having a little gab fest on the stairs, but there's one more guy that wanted to join in on the party, but he tried to Wesley snipe me, and I said, no, I think not, sir. And why are you being a... Bush monsters are supposed to stay outside, next to rocks, or perhaps on roofs, or sometimes in a bush, because you're a bush monster and you have bush monster camo on. I don't think that lurking around in buildings is really going to help you. Such as this gentleman, give me your sandwich! You stick out like a sore thumb when you have that green ghillie suit and you're silhouetted against concrete. Not that this guy's camo is any better, but get him in the rear end, and you ready? Okay, I hear footsteps. Wait for it. Which side is he on? Give me your sandwich! Yes, I just got my sandwich taken away by a Russian hatchet-faced medic. And you know what happened there? I heard footsteps. It's like, alright, I got this guy. I'm gonna wait for him. Just like this guy, I'm waiting on you, buddy. I don't know how that was not a headshot. Monster player, I clearly shot you in the face, but I don't know how I got a headshot. But when I was behind the tank with that medic, I was just waiting for that guy. And I turned the wrong way. I turned towards the allied medic instead of the enemy medic. And I drained half my clip into the impenetrable wooden box made of boron, diamond, and titanium. I don't know how it didn't penetrate it, but that resulted in my death. And yet again, I don't know how that happens. Everybody just lurks in that garage when they're capping A, and they always just lurk in there, and they always sit behind that impenetrable box. So I'm gonna get this one other bush monster down here. Get this guy, just get sniped with the Mr. Krinkov. Mr. Krinkov. That's just basically what I call the submachine gun. If I can't get you with the Krinkov, I'm gonna get you with the old Gratch. Gratch sounds like an awful term. It's not really pleasing to the ears. And since I'm out of ammo for Mr. Krinkov here, I'm going to pick out the M14. And you guys know that I'm a total scrub with the M14, unless it has an ACOG. That's not really a true story, because I think one of the only videos that I've put up is with the M14 with the ACOG. But I'm going to wait for Carl number 1 and Carl number 2 to run by, get one, and I'm going to search forever. It's like the hunt for Red October. It was the longest time. And I'm not trying to personify Red October as this one red medic with a red hat, but it took forever. But you know what? As it turns out, he didn't have a red hat because he had the Spectac kit, so clearly when you have the Spectac kit, your hat is green, but give it or not, give me your sandwich! And, yeah. Mutual kill. That would have been so much more attractive if he would not have killed me, but what can you do? And something overall that I want to describe to you guys is that I have never been, I don't think ever, on a worse team than this one. I think the majority of the flags, I'm trying to describe this in a way that doesn't sound too condescending, or like it doesn't sound too boastful and hateful towards my teammates. I'm not saying my teammates were absolutely awful, but as soon as I left an area, we would lose the flag. And that really meant that I had to run everywhere. Like, I had to be everywhere to even come close to beating this team, this opposing team that was absolutely menacing against us. I'm not going to say they were amazing, but they had a few players that were definitely hard to handle. And I overcame that by... I'm trying to describe this in a way that you guys can really understand, and you guys know that I play a little bit more aggressively. Chatty Cathy number 1 and 2. You guys know that I play a little bit more aggressively with submachine guns than I do with assault rifles. Ooh, that was a quick kill. I know that was a headshot, but I remember at that time, how did I drop you that fast? I don't understand. Oh, check this guy out. Ready? Oh, look at that guy fly. Just, ooh. Oh, man. For some reason, I found that so hilarious, and I decided to point that out. But something overall that I wanted to identify is that this was extremely hard because my teammates, they were decent at killing other enemies, and they were decent at moving around the map correctly. They just would not get on the flag. It's like, get on the flag, guys. Please, get on the flag. And although we have the lead now, we fade back and we start losing later on. And I'm not going to tell you how it ends, but it comes down to the wire. And by to the wire, it literally means like under 10 tickets. I'm not going to tell you whether we win or whether we lose by the end, but yet again, it comes down to the wire. And you know, really, like, in a situation like this, the Krinkov is not perfect for holding up in a building like an assault rifle because it obviously doesn't have the range. And you guys know that I usually like picking up. Now, I'm not camping. I'm not being like some chatty Cathy with 3 or 4 other guys in a building. Good morning, Carl. I'm not being a chatty Cathy with 3 or 4 other guys in a building just sitting here picking people off. But I was just trying to hold B down, and you know that it's much more beneficial to run around and be more aggressive with a submachine gun than it is with an assault rifle because obviously at the medium to longer ranges, the assault rifle maintains high damage, while the submachine guns really lose their damage at ranges, especially the ones with high rates of fire such as the Krinkov. There are exceptions to that, like the PV2K can absolutely snipe people, but for the most part, it's going to be a lot more beneficial for you to play a more aggressive role with a submachine gun. Instead of, if you were using an assault rifle, you could be a little bit more conservative. But here's a classic example of, he's using the Thompson, I'm using the Krinkov and that high rate of fire. And that it's decent hip fire as well. I don't think people really give the Krinkov enough respect for its hip fire. I know a lot of you guys like the UMP because it's such a tight hip fire. And you just get random headshots. It's like, I clearly just shot you in the kneecaps, bro. And you somehow got hit in the face. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how I got that headshot. I'm gonna get one guy with aim down sight through the window and the other guy with a hip fire. And that was actually the opposite of what I actually do. I don't think I've told you guys this before, but a lot of the gunfights I usually win because I start, as soon as I see an enemy, I pull the trigger and then I aim down the sight. So most people aim down sight and then pull the trigger. I actually start pulling the trigger before I aim down sight to really try to get a head start on him in terms of dealing the most damage that I can. That was the opposite, where I aimed down sight first, got the guy through the window, and then I went back to hip fire and got the guy ahead of me. Now, perhaps that was not the best order to take them out. Perhaps the closest guy is the largest threat, but that's something that just happened the way it did. Why are you lurking? I love people that lurk around like that. Like, dude, I'm so Ghost Recon. I'm like CIA, MLG Pro, U.S. Marine, all rolled up into one big soldier. It's like, do you really need to crouch walk around corners and on the first floor of buildings that are totally exposed? Do you really need to do that? But this guy, I was going to take a sandwich, but I was like, you know what? He already got off because he saw me. I just call him Mr. Abacon, man. He tries to Wesley snipe me. I say, I think not, so I'm going to play a little game of Ring Around the Rosie, and look who just got outsmarted. That gentleman right there, the Biscuit of Vengeance. And I would not consider you biscuit-like, nor do you have any kind of quality that would resemble vengeance, because I don't think he ever killed me. But yet again, just because I say don't use the Krinkov at range doesn't mean that it can't be used at range, although I get absolutely robbed here and somebody steals my kill. Just because the submachine guns are not really as effective as assault rifles at range doesn't mean that they can't be used at range. And that guy didn't die. Don't worry, he didn't die. He's just having a little leisure time in the rail. See, he's fine. He's just laying there for a second, and I'll look back at him. He's fine. Just look at him. He's fine. His buddy is not fine, however. That recon. I think he's just going to join him on the railing. Perhaps we can get him some sort of alcoholic beverage with a small umbrella inside of it that would resemble some kind of drink that you would have in Cancun. But those two gentlemen, the recon, see, he's just chilling on the railing. He's just having his grand little leisure time on the railing. I wouldn't worry about him. And come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on around the corner. There you go, buddy. And this other guy, I know my aim sometimes fails when I try to do that really, really quick burst fire, but the Grok, or the Grotch, excuse me. Oh, yet again, Biscuit of Vengeance. I don't know how I don't see how a biscuit can be or have qualities of vengeance, but I am literally out of bullets here. I am out of bullets, so give me a sandwich. But the thing is, I'm literally, like, I'm out of bullets. It's not like, oh, dude, I've got like 13 shots left in my F2000, dude. I'm like out of bullets. It's like literally, I have no bullets. And that always reminds me of Exhibit. Do you guys know how Exhibit talks? If you guys, you know the guy from Pimp My Ride? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I'm going to get this trickster up here and the other trickster hiding in the window with the garage. But you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Exhibit? The guy from Pimp My Ride, like, you officially been pimped. You know what I'm talking about? How the way that he talks always resembles, or it always reminds me when I run out of ammo for some reason. Because the way Exhibit talks, he's a rapper and obviously from Pimp My Ride, he will say the same thing in one sentence 2 or 3 times over. And I get this guy here. He will say the same thing 2 or 3 times over. For example, so I always think of him when I run out of ammo. Because he'll say the same thing 3 times in a sentence, just saying, yo dog, I heard you don't like bullets, so I made it so that you can have no bullets while you have no bullets. And it's the same thing, when I use the Garand, where I'm always reloading. I just think of Exhibit, like saying the same repetitive thing 2 or 3 times after I get one and give me your sandwich right in your helmet, buddy. It's the same thing when I use the Garand with, I always think of the Exhibit just commentating over my gameplay, just saying, yo dog, I heard you like reloading, so I made it so that you could reload while you're reloading, dog. It's like, do you really have to say the same thing 2 or 3 times in the same sentence, Exhibit? But it's just what I think of overall whenever I'm using certain weapons or doing certain things in this game. And yes, I did just pick up the Scrub Sega. Where do you think you're going, buddy? And you know what? This specific instance just made me realize, and one more with the Grotch, made me realize how great the Sega is with Magnum ammo instead of the shotgun upgrade. Because it's just 2 quick rapid shots at close range and he is toast. Although that took me 4 because we all know that I'm a total scrub catfish / Carl that cannot really do anything on the battlefield whatsoever. It took me 4 shots instead of 2, but just those 2 quick shots at close range, perfect example right there. I don't know why he blew so far back. He was like, it looked like Neo just got hit by a vacuum and a fan at the same time in the Matrix, and he went all the way back. I don't know what his deal was, but there's more Chatty Cathys in this green double stack. In double stack, I mean building, not that burger at Wendy's. I think we all know that. But I'm going to reload around the corner, and this is sort of an odd instance. I kind of tried to cancel the reload while I was shooting, and it kind of came down in an odd arc, but I'm going to get that one. As he runs away, I don't know how that was a headshot. I really don't. From my angle, it looked like maybe I hit his scapula, or maybe his right subclavian vein, but actually, that's an artery. Did I seriously just say the right subclavian is a vein? Clearly it's an artery, and I know whoever's in med school, I bet I bet the probability is that not many of you are in med school, but please correct me. No, you know what? The right subclavian is most definitely an artery. I'm going to get that guy as he does that little twirl. Don't you love that twirl whenever people die? I find it so funny. It's because clearly you were not even moving in some kind of ballerina fashion. I don't know why you decided to twirl as you died. Perhaps it would be better just to fall over. But this guy was trying to be the guardian of the UAV guy over here, being a UAV monster lurking on the UAV end. Give me your chicken sandwich, just a waffle fry for free with some French fried potatoes. And I had to go extra on that one because you guys all know that I hate the UAV. Like literally, I know I'm not going to talk about Battlefield 3 again, but that is literally my one wish for Battlefield 3. I don't care if it is the worst first-person shooter ever, make it so that the UAV does not have an alternative fire. You don't like the little bullets that it shoots out in. Yet again, good morning, Carl. Did you see how he fell on the stairs? For some reason, I'm finding the ragdoll physics to be hilarious. I don't know why I find it so funny at this point in time during the game's lifespan, but for some reason, I just find that hilarious. And yet again, if you use the Krinkov correctly, you can definitely squeeze a lot of range out of it. And yet again, we lost Charlie, and I have to go all the way back to Charlie, but then I thought, you know what, I might be better off taking A. But as you can see, just look. As soon as I leave an area, we usually lose the area. See, we take Charlie, I get this guy, and I'm eventually going to move over to B. But you'll see later on, as soon as I lose, or as soon as I go away from the area of C, we're going to lose C as soon as we cap B. Yeah, see, there you go, we lost Charlie as soon as I leave the area. And it was sort of a burden to just carry my team, and I wouldn't really say carrying my team. I'd say I basically euthanized my entire team, stuck them in a backpack, and carried them around. Like, that's basically what it was. And as you can see right here, that is like a Disney miracle on ice. We took Charlie back. I don't know how it happened. I have no clue how it happened, but And look at that guy. He's like Spider-Man. He dropped down. He thought he could get me. But you know what? I'm clearly in the better position because I'm behind those boxes that are made of boron, titanium, and diamond. And really, is this what we're going to do, Carl? Carl, okay, this is your idea of a good plan to get me when I'm coming up the stairs, Carl. You're going to aim an RPG at the wall and hope that I come up the stairs and you can direct impact me with that RPG. I think not, but yet again, I knew it was going to be difficult to take B because it was about half their team was at B and half their team was at A, and I thought A would be a little bit easier because it's a little bit more maneuverable on the top side. And it was just so difficult. And as you can see, we're already down by 25 tickets, and the game is slowly coming to a close here. And yet again, I'm just carrying my team around in that backpack. But I was looking everywhere because, you know, there's usual places like, okay, there's going to be some chatty Cathy's in the garage, probably one upstairs at A in the building, and maybe some guy running around the perimeter. And yet again, same guy. I don't know if it's the same guy or not, but there were a few of them that all switched to RPG with explosive weapon damage, which was very annoying. And get ceiling banged, Mr. Pinchy. Well, you know what the thing is? Is it a ceiling bang or is it a floor bang? Because I don't know how I can differentiate that. I mean, you can really label it if you would like to, but here you can see my amazing accuracy because I'm a total scrub catfish that doesn't really know how to shoot a submachine gun. I'm going to get him as he comes around the corner. I was trying to play a little game of Ring Around the Rosie. I was going to wait for him to come around, but I thought, you know what? He's probably thinking like I'm thinking, and I got him on this other way around. I'm going to pick up the Uzi, but come on, Carl. Carl, why do you have to be such a trickster and use an ACOG on Arica Harbor on the Uzi? I'll use an ACOG on the PP2K, but I will not use it on the Uzi. That's a little horrendous. And the automatic fire of the Uzi is far better. I take up my big iron on my hip, and I get owned. Absolutely owned. But he was using body armor in my defense, but still, well played, sir, well played. I can't really complain about that, but we took B. I mean, all that fighting at A, I really didn't do anything. Perhaps it drew enough of the enemy team over to A that we were able to cap B, but still, we only have one flag right now. We were going over to cap C, and I was making sure that we eventually capped C, and in that respect, my teammates improved a little bit, but I was still getting all these little bush monsters over here that were trying to flank around to C, and or flank around to find a bush somewhere, like to be a rock monster, but you will see the most entertaining, I don't know how to say entertaining, but the most, it was like Chatty Cathy rock monsters. They were two different classes of people that I severely dislike. Yes, it's coming up here very, very soon. And by very, very soon, I mean in the near future. It's not like immediately, but I get mowed down here for I believe it's the last time. And a lot of them also switched to body armor. It seemed like that's what a lot of them switched to. It was either body armor or it was explosive weapon damage rocket launchers, and that's what they really resorted to. I'm going to get two more here. And it's 10 tickets versus 6 tickets. We finally gained the lead. Now it's 9 on 6. And I thought, you know what? Instead of capping this flag, I know they're not going to cap it back. The opposing team's not going to cap it back in time. I'm going to go kill some people. And 2 rock monsters. Thank you. And give me your sandwich. And it's 5-0. Are we going to get this one? 4 tickets. We win by 4 tickets. That is called coming down to the wire. It's not exactly like a game battles where it's like within 6 tickets or 7 tickets, but that is coming down to the wire. And this is why basically I had to show you the entire video. For those of you that went all this way, thank you very, very much. And there's the final score. I want to thank you very much for watching. I know it's 19 minutes. Like, 19 minutes is too long for a commentary. I don't approve of your conduct. It's like, hopefully you're okay with the 19 minutes. Thank you very, very much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Auf Wiedersehen und bis bald und gute Nacht.